ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अगजाननपद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदं तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। नमस्ते शारदे देवी काश्मीरपुरवासिनी त्वामहं प्रार्थये नित्यं विद्यां बुद्धिं च देहि मे। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बा त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकविवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च। मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनम्। गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता। भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिसृतं गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतमेको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा। शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatham. Okay, so this will be our shloka today. So Shantakaram, he who has a very peaceful form. Bhujaga Shayanam, he who sleeps on the snake or has a snake as his Shayana. Bhujaga means Sarpa. Padmanabham, he who has Padma in his Nabha. And Suresham, Lord of the Devatas. Vishwadharam, he is the sole Adhara of the Vishwa. Gagana Sadrisham means he is like the Gagana. Gagana means Akasha. Akasha is Ananta. So he is also like that, like Gagana, he is Ananta. Megha Varnam, he who has the complexion of Megha, means who is dark in color. Shubhangam, Shubhangam. Angas means limbs of the body. So he who has beautiful limbs means, in short, a handsome person. Lakshmi Kantam, so husband of Lakshmi. Kamala Nayanam, he whose eyes are in the shape of the lotus petals. Yogibhir Dhyana Gamyam. So Yogibihi Dhyana Gamyam means he who is meditated upon by the yogis, meditated and reached, like Dhyana Gamyam means they meditate upon Lord Vishnu and reach him, right, when they attain moksha. So by the yogis. So Yogibhir Dhyana Gamyam Vande Vishnu, to that Vishnu I salute. Bhavabhaya Haram Sarvalokaika Natham. Bhavabhaya Haram. There is a meaning for the bhava means like existence. So that is how we say bhavati, right? So means it happens, it exists. So bhavabhaya haram, he who will remove the calamities or anything that is fearful from the existence. Sarvalokaika natham, he who is the Lord of all the worlds, of all the lokas. So that is the meaning of this shloka. Okay, so let us move on to our lesson. So we were on page 80, we completed, right? We were doing the Bhutakala. Now, like I said, let us go back a little bit and again try to recollect what we discussed about Bhutakala. So Bhutakala, we have two forms that we are going to learn in Bhutakala. One is the participle form, past participle form, and the other one is the Lakara itself. Lakara means it will not have Linga Bheda. Okay. Lat Lakara is Vartamana Kala. Lot Lakara is imperative mood, means Prarthana or Agnya. It is called Prerana. The imperative mood is called Prerana, means Prarthana or Agnya, depending on the tone of your voice. And then the third one that we are doing is Bhutakala. So in the Latlakara, we have seen the 3x3 table in Parasmaipadi, and then again in Atmanepadi, we have a 3x3 table because the dhatus are, the Parasmaipadi dhatus take different forms and Atmanepadi dhatus take different forms. We have two separate tables, but we have a 3x3 table. So what is this 3x3 table? Prathama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha, Uttama Purusha, 3 rows. Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachana, 3 columns. So 3x3, totally 9 forms we have in Lat Lakara. Now all of these 9 forms can be used either with the Strilinga word or a Pumlinga. Whether the Karta is Stri or Purusha, the Kriyapadam we can use anything. So Saha Pathati, Sa Pathati, Te Pathanti, Taha Pathanti, Mitrani Pathanti. Whether it is Napumsakalinga Karta or Pumlinga Karta or Strilinga Karta, the Kriya Padams which are in Lakara forms, these are called Lakaras. The tenses, basically tenses. So we have totally 10 Lakaras. Okay. We will not be learning all the 10 Lakaras in this level. We will be learning 4 of them, out of which 2 we have already learned. The Lat Lakara, which is Vartamana Kala, present tense. Lot Lakara, which is the imperative mood, Prerana. Now we are learning the Lan Lakara, which is the Bhutakala. Okay. So here, And then we will be also learning the Bhavishyat Kala. That will come a little later. But now let us now focus on the Bhutakala. In Bhutakala, we also have a participle form, past participle. So we have seen those forms, Gatavan. And here in the past participle forms, we have the Linga Bheda. In the Lakara forms, we don't have Linga Bheda, but in the participle forms, we have Linga Bheda, but there we don't have the Purusha Bheda. Means whether it is Saha or Aham or Tvam, whether it is Prathama Purusha, Aham Uttama Purusha or Tvam Madhyama Purusha, whether it is any of these, first person, second person or third person, the Kriyapadam will be the same, Gatavan. If it is a Pumlinga, Linga Bheda is there. So if the person is a male, then whether we are referring to him in third person or if in Madhyama Purusha or if he is referring to himself as Aham Gatavan, Aham Gatavan, Tvam Gatavan, Saha Gatavan, Gatavan. It is the same, whether it is Prathama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha or Uttama Purusha. But if that person about whom we are talking or who is addressing herself is a Stree, then Gatavati, Sa Gatavati, Tvam Gatavati. Okay, you went. If I'm talking to a lady and if I want to say that you went home that day. Okay, Bhavati Gatavati, Tvam Gatavati, Aham Gatavati, I went or I left. Okay, Aham Gatavati. So whether it is Pumlinga, whether it is Prathama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha or Uttama Purusha, the Kriyapadam will remain the same, but there is a Linga Bheda. If a masculine person is talking or being referred to, Gatavan, otherwise Gatavati. Okay, Napumsakalinga form is also there, but we don't use it that much, but it is still there, Gatavat. Okay, okay. So, so that you have to remember. But in conversational Samskritam, we are encouraged to use more of the past participle form. So we don't have to worry about which Purusha, we are referring to, and accordingly to change the Kriyapadam. It could be a little tedious. Since we have an easier option here of the past participle form, Samskritha Bharathi, especially Samskritha Bharathi, encourages the usage of this past participle in conversational Samskritam. Okay, and then even when in the next lesson, we will look into that in detail. The Kriya Padams can also have Upasargas. Okay, it is like a prefix for a Kriya Padam. So with the usage of prefix, the Lakara forms will get even more complicated to change them into the Bhutakala. Whereas in the past participle form, they remain a little easier. If a Kriya Padam has an Upasarga, the form of it, how it changes into Bhutakala in the Lakara will be a little complex. Sandhis and all are involved. Whereas in the past participle form, there won't be that much change. So that way also, it is a lot easier to use the past participle form of the Bhutakala. Okay, but we need to learn the Lakara also. Why? Because in all the Kavyas, the Lakaras are not prohibited or anything. In the Bhutakala also, the Lakara is used. Of course, the past participle form, Kthavatu, it is called Kthavatu Pratyayanta. That also is used. It depends. It depends on the mood of the poet. He can use both. Like in some shlokas, I have seen this. In some shlokas, I have seen the Lakara. So it all depends. There, not only, of course, I said it depends on the mood of the poet. It's not just the mood of the poet. There are other factors to it, like the chandas and other things. So based on that, they will decide which one to use. So last week we were doing the past participle form, Thavatu. Okay. And we have seen on page 79 and 80, we have seen several Kriya Padams in the Kthavatu form, in Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachana, both in Pumlinga and Strilinga. Now let us move on to the page number 81. So here, Hyaha, Bhavan or Bhavati, Kim Kritavan or Kritavati. iti panchavakyani likhata. Okay, so would some of you like to say kim kritavati or kim kritavan hyaha? Hyaha, you know, yesterday, right? Adya aham pustakam pathami. What will this become in bhutakala? Yes, Devesh.
ह्यः अहं पुस्तकं पठितवान्.
ह्यः अहं पुस्तकं पठितवती. Okay, ह्यः अहं पुस्तकं पठितवती. देवेश and महेश, ह्यः भवान् किं कृतवान्?
ह्यः अहं
We are not able
देवालयं
to hear you.
गतवान्.
I don't know what, but unable to hear you.
Can't hear us?
Aham vyaha udyanam
Why I am unable to hear anybody? Oh, sorry. My volume was low. Okay, now can you tell Bhavana Bhagini?
Aham vyaha udyanam kreditvati.
Kim kriditavati?
Basketball kreditvati.
Okay. Uttamam. Devesh and Mahesh?
अहं ह्यः देवालयं गतवान्.
Aham hyaha devalayam gatavan. Uttamam. Anantaram Jaya Bhagini?
Aham yaha ekam pustakam patitavati.
Ekam pustakam patitavati samyak eva. Suchitra Bhagini? Suchitra khalu iPhone ID? Is that Suchitra Bhagini who has iPhone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Vaktum ichchati va?
Aham hyaha
kim kritavati?
Lekha likitavati.
Kim likitavati?
Hyaha lekha letter.
Uttaram. Patram athava uttaram.
Okay. Aham hyaha patram likitavati.
Uttamam. Sindhu Bhagini?
Aham hyaha granthalayam gatavati.
Granthalayam gatavati. Granthalaye kim kritavati bhavati?
Ekam pustakam
Swikritavati va?
Yes. Swikritavati.
Swikritya kim kritavati? Pustakam swikritya kim kritavati? Griham anitavati va?
Griham
anitavati.
Anitavati.
I brought it home. Anitavati. Uttamam. Anantaram pustakam patitavati va? Pustakam patitavati va? Uttamam. Anantaram Pramila Bhagini?
So how do I say, can I ask you one more? I got it home and I read it. So how do I say that?
So aham pustakam griham aniya patitavati. Aniya lyabanta pratyayanta upayogam karaniyam.
Okay. Aniya.
Athava, if you don't want to use lyabanta, aham pustakam griham anitavati patitavati cha.
Patitavati cha. Okay. Yes.
Anantaram Pramila Bhagini.
यः गीता पारायणं कृतवती.
ह्यः भवती गीता पारायणं कृतवती. उत्तमम्. अनन्तरं सीता भगिनी?
अहं ह्यः आपणं गतवती पुस्तकं क्रीतवती च
क्रीतवती च उत्तमम् उत्तमम् अनन्तरं राजेन्द्रन् महोदय भवान् किं कृतवान् ह्यः न श्रूयते महोदय
एकनिमिषं इदानीं श्रूयते वा भगिनि नमस्ते
नमस्ते
आम् अहं ह्यः गीतापारायणवर्गं चालितवान्
गीतापारायणवर्गं चालितवान्
आं जि
उत्तमम् उत्तमं बहु उत्तमम् अनन्तरं वसन्ता भगिनी भवती वक्तुम् इच्छति वा वसन्ता भगिनी न श्रूयते भगिनी ओके अस्तु अनन्तरं फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन रिक्तस्थानानि ख्ववतु प्रत्ययान्तरूपैः पूरयत okay on page 81 we are on page 81 all of you look there so ख्ववतु प्रत्ययान्तरूपैः पूरयत aham ashramam gatavan okay so in the brackets we are given the dhatu we have to put the ख्ववतु प्रत्ययान्तरूपam in the blank aham ashramam gatavan tvam tatra kada
गतवान्
tvam tatra kada gatavan uttamam or gatavati also you can say tvam can indicate pumlinga or strilinga vayam ekasya vriddhasya jeevana katham
श्रुतवत्यः
श्रुतवत्यः स्त्रीलिङ्गे पुंलिङ्गे श्रुतवन्तः उत्तमं सः पूर्वं योगशास्त्रं पठितवान् सः पूर्वं योगशास्त्रं पठितवान् तत्र निपुणतां प्राप्तवान् और प्राप्तवती किन्तु जीवने तद् न आनीतवान् और आनीतवती तेन दुःखं प्राप्तवान् कुत्रापि ज्ञानं न दत्तवान् अनन्तरं वृद्धाश्रमं आगतवान् किं त्वम् एतां घटनां
श्रुतवान् वा
यूयं तत्र धातुः स्था धातुः अस्ति स्थितवान् स्थितवती okay for tishtati this is the bhutakala roopam of tishtati or sthapitavan ekam nimisham or sthapitavan also we can use okay so sthitavan means we standing sthapitavan means we placing something there like pathati and pathayati like the difference is like between pathati and pathayati sthitavan and sthapitavan okay sthitavan is when we ourselves are standing there sthapitavan is if I am putting there something okay
ఇప్పుడు స్థాపితవాన్ కరెక్ట్ అండి
స్థాపితవాన్ కూడా చెప్పొచ్చు यूयं बहुवचने अस्ति अतः स्थापितवन्तः और स्थापितवन्तः और स्थापितवत्यः आवाम् एतस्मिन् विषये चिन्तनं कृतवत्यौ अथवा कृतवन्तौ पुंलिङ्गे अथवा स्त्रीलिङ्गे आवां द्विवचनं वयं जीवने योगशास्त्रम् आचरितवन्तः वयं बहुवचने अस्ति अतः आचरितवन्तः आचरितवत्यः स्त्रीलिङ्गे आचरितवत्यः पुंलिङ्गे आचरितवन्तः अनन्तरं कुरुक्षेत्रे कौरवपाण्डवाः युद्धितवन्तः और युद्धितवन्तः अहं चिन्तयामि युद्धितवन्तः युद्धवन्तः युद्धवान् युद्धवान् युद्धवती युद्धितवान् युद्धितवती अर्जुनः सैन्यं ईक्षितवान् अर्जुनः केवलम् एकवचनं सो ईक्षितवान् अनन्तरं
भगिनी
युद्धितवन्तः I would say युध्यते युध्यते is the kriyapadam in latlakara. It is atmanepadi kriyapadam. So it is like yudhyate. So the kriyapadam in latlakara prathama purusha ekavachana is yudhyate. Atmanepadi kriyapadam. Yuddhitavantaha iti aham chintayami. I couldn't find it anywhere, that form. So I am just going with the pattern. So yuddhitavantaha or yuddhitavan in ekavachane. Okay. Because in all these examples, we have never seen the form yuddhavan, right? Like pathavan, no, patitavan, vanditavan. Even for atmanepadi kriyapadams, if you see iksh itself is an atmanepadi kriyapadam, ikshitavan. So going by that pattern, yuddhitavan would be an appropriate form. I didn't find it anywhere. I will double check and get back if there is anything wrong, or if there is a different form. Okay. Next, moving on to the next page, page number 82. Vartamana kalaha latlakara, bhuta kalaha lanlakara. Okay. So now, like I was mentioning before, we have the past participle form, savavatu, and then we also have the lakara, which is the lan lakara. For bhutakala, it is lan lakara. Lat lakara for Vartamana kala, lot lakara for prerana, lan lakara for bhutakala. Okay. So let us now see the lakara form of the same bhutakala. Sureshaha bhakti yogam pathati. Okay. In bhutakala, it will be Sureshaha bhakti yogam apathat. Apathat. Okay. Shyamaha Geetha Pradarshinim pashyati. Shyamaha Geetha Pradarshinim apashyat. Taha Madhuram gachanti. So they all went to Mathura. Strilingi asti. Taha Madhuram agachan. So agachat in ekavachana, agachan bahuvachane. Apathat ekavachana, apathan bahuvachane. Apashyat ekavachane, apashyan bahuvachane. Kshatriyaha yuddham labhate. Kshatriyaha yuddham alabhata. Atmanepadi. Labhate is an atmanepadi kriyapadam. So the bhutakalam is alabhata. The tha is complete. It is not like apathat. It is not simply takara. It is ta, takara and akara. Okay. It is not a halanta. Alabhata. Sarve karmanaha phalam bhunjate. Sarve karmanaha phalam abhunjata. Okay. Bhunjate again is atmanepadi kriyapadam. So abhunjata. Aham Krishnam bhaje. Aham Krishnam abhaje. So bhaje, abhaje. In bhutakalam, this is uttama purusha ekavachana. Only the akara is there. The rest of the form is the same, remains the same. Arjunaha prajnavadan bhashate. Arjunaha prajnavadan abhashata. Satvikaha devan yajante. Satvikaha devan ayajanta. Okay. Yajate means to perform yagas, right? So devan, they worship the devas through the yagas. Devan ayajanta. So here we have the Parasmaipadi dhatus and the Atmanepadi dhatus. So in the Parasmaipadi dhatu, how the forms change in Prathama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha and Uttama Purusha in the three vachanas, we shall see below. So this is given for the Chal dhatu. Achalat, Achalatam, Dvivachanam, Achalan. Madhyama Purushe, Achalaha, Achalatam, Achalata. Achalam, Achalava, Achalama. So, a is a prefix for all the Kriya Padams in the Lakara, whether it is Atmanepadi or Parasmaipadi. A will be there compulsorily in the Bhutakala. And then for the Drish Dhatu, Apashyat, Apashyatam, Apashyan, Apashyaha, Apashyatam, Apashyata, Apashyam, Apashyava, Apashyama. And then Stha Dhatu. Stha dhatu is the Parasmaipadi Vartamanakala Latlakara Rupam Ekavachanam Prathama Purusha is Tishtati. Okay. So Atishtat, Atishtatam, Atishtan, Atishtaha, Atishtatam, Atishtata, Atishtam, Atishtava, Atishtama. And then Ish dhatu. Aichat. Aichat, Aichatam, Aichan. So why I came here? Anyone who has already done their Parichaya level in Samskritha Bharathi exams? Why Aichat is there when the dhatu is ish?
Sandhi.
A plus E will become A, right?
Gunasandhi.
Gunasandhi is happening. Gunasandhi, and then after that Vriddhi also happens. Aichat came. Simply not Aichat, right? Okay. So Aichat, Aichatam, Aichan, Aichaha, Aichatam, Aichata, Aicham, Aichava, Aichama. Okay. And then we have Bhasha. Bhasha is so for the Ish dhatu.
వృద్ధి సంధి కదా ఇది ఇచ్చతే
అంటే ముందు గుణసంధి జరిగి తర్వాత వృద్ధి సంధి జరుగుతుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఆ ప్లస్ ఈ ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఇష్ ధాతు కదా, ఇచ్చతి కదా. ఇష్ ధాతు లట్లకారే ప్రథమ పురుష ఏకవచనే ఇచ్చతి కదా. సో ఆ వస్తుంది, ఆ ప్లస్ ఈ ఏ అవుతుంది. ఆ తర్వాత ఇంకేవో కొన్ని ప్రక్రియలు జరిగి అది ఐగా మారింది. So the latlakara form of ish dhatu is ichchati, ichchami. We have seen that kriya padam earlier. Now these are the forms for the parasmaipadi dhatu. For atmanepadi dhatu, bhasha, abhashata, abhashetam, abhashanta, abhashathaha, abhashetham, abhashatvam, abhashe, abhashavahi, abhashamahi. Okay. If you observe closely, the Prathama Purusha Ekavachana form of the Atmanepadi Dhatu and the Madhyama Purusha Bahuvachana of the Parasmaipadi Dhatu are similar, if you notice. Here we have Achalata in the Chal Dhatu, Madhyama Purusha Bahuvachana, Achalata. In Bhasha, the Prathama Purusha Ekavachanam, Abhashata. So both are ending in the Takara. In takara in the sense in ta along with the okay. So unless you know the dhatu, whether it is parasmaipadi or atmanepadi, you will not be able to tell whether it is madhyama purusha bahuvachana in parasmaipadi or prathama purusha ekavachana in atmanepadi if the kriya padam is given alone. If it is used with noun, then obviously the noun will indicate. If I say, for example, Yuyam Achalata, okay, even if you don't know the Chal Dhatu, that it is a Parasmaipadi Dhatu, Yuyam, the Yuyam is giving away. Oh, Madhyama Purusha Bahuvachanam. So Achalata is Madhyama Purusha Bahuvachana. So Chal Dhatu is a Parasmaipadi Dhatu. Like that we can understand. Similarly, if I say Saha abhashata, okay, I don't know the bhasha dhatu, whether it is Atmanepadi or Parasmaipadi. But when I see Saha, oh, Prathama Purusha Ekavachana. So only in Atmanepadi dhatus, in the Bhutakala, we have this form. So the bhasha dhatu has to be Atmanepadi. That is why in Prathama Purusha Ekavachanam, it is in this form. So we can make such conclusions and understand depending on the clues, sentential clues, okay, on the context. So otherwise, if the word is given standalone, if I simply say abhashata and ask you in which vachana, in which purusha it is, you cannot tell unless you know the dhatu. Unless you know the dhatu is a parasmaipadi dhatu or an atmanepadi dhatu. You know, for atmanepadi, the forms are like this: avandata, avandetam, avandanta, like this, you know. But bhasha dhatu, only if you know it is atmanepadi, you can say, oh, this is prathama purusha ekavachana in bhutakala, langlakara. You will not say it is madhyama purusha bahuvachana. You will say it is prathama purusha ekavachana, because we know it is an atmanepadi dhatu. So in such cases, it will help to know the dhatus, whether they are parasmaipadi or atmanepadi. But many times, since the words are not used standalone, they are used with they are used in a sentence. We will have several clues like the nouns and all that. Sometimes we take, if we don't know the noun, we take the help of the kriyapadam to understand whether the noun is an ekavachana, bahuvachana, because the antas can be different, right? For halanta shabdas and for even in Ajanta, some special case forms, you know, they might have a different pattern, not the regular pattern. And when we are in doubt, we can take the help of the kriyapadam to determine whether it is in prathama purusha or madhyama purusha or uttama purusha, and also ekavachana, dvivachana and bahuvachana. So abhashata, abhashetam, abhashanta, abhashathaha, abhashetam, abhashadvam, abhashe, abhashavahi, abhashamahi. And then we have bru dhatu, abruta, abruvatam, abruvata, abruthaha, abruvatham, abrudvam, abruvi, abruvahi, abrumahi. Okay, so this is again a special case dhatu. So it is a little different than the bhasha dhatu. Okay. Brute will be the latlakara form. Braviti is also there. This is actually a ubhayapadi dhatu, we can say. It has the parasmaipadi form as well as atmanepadi form. In parasmaipadi, it is braviti. In atmanepadi, brute, the latlakara prathama purusha ekavachana. Okay. In either case, it is a special dhatu, like vishesha kriyapada. Okay. Now let us look at the abhyasa. Vakyani vadata abhyasam cha kuruta. Okay. So here we have some pronouns and then we have some kriyapadams. So let us see. Saha, sa, bhavan, bhavati. These are all ekavachana pronouns. Apathat, achalat, alabhata, asevata. So saha apathat, sa achalat, bhavan alabhata, bhavati asevata. Bhavan and bhavati, though they indicate the meaning wise, they are like madhyama purusha. We are referring to the person directly, addressing the person directly. But since we use them only with respect, we use prathama purusha kriyapadam only. And they are considered as prathama purusha pronouns only. Even when we are quoting, because in grammar, the prathama purusha kriyapadam can be used only with prathama purusha pronouns, sarvanama shabdas. So we cannot say bhavan and bhavati is madhyama purusha and then use prathama purusha kriyapadams. So grammatically, when we are quoting, we quote bhavan and bhavati as prathama purusha. But when we are addressing like directly. So in usage, it is like madhyama purusha. But textually, we have to, if you were asked bhavan and bhavati, is it prathama purusha or madhyama purusha? Prathama purusha only you have to say. Okay. Tau, te, bhavantau, bhavatyau. So, tau apatatam. Te is in for Strilinga and Napumsakalinga. Dvivachana. Te achalatam. Bhavantau. Pumlinga for Bhavan. Dvivachana. Alabhetam bhavatyau. For Bhavati, the Dvivachana. Asevetam. Okay. These are all the Madhyama Prathama Purusha Dvivachana forms. The first row shows the Parasmaipadi Dhatu, Apatatam, Achalatam. The second row, Alabhetam, Asevetam, Atmanepadi Dhatus. And then in Bahuvachana, Te Apatan, Taha Achalan, Bhavantaha Alabhanta, Bhavatyaha Asevanta. Okay. You can rewrite these sentences using all the pronouns with all the Kriyapadams like Saha Apathat, Saha Achalat, Saha Alabhata, Saha Asevata. Similarly, Sa Apathat, Sa Achalat, Sa Alabhata, Sa Asevata. Bhavan Apathat, Bhavan Achalat, Bhavan Alabhata, Bhavan Asevata. Okay, Bhavati Apathat, Bhavati Achalat, Bhavati Alabhata, Bhavati Asevata. So you can write for extra practice. And then Madhyama Purusha. That is all with the Prathama Purusha. For Madhyama Purusha. With Madhyama Purusha and Uttama Purusha, it is easy. Why? Because we have only one pronoun. Tvam in Ekavachana. In Dvivachana, Yuvam, Yuyam in Bahuvachana. So Tvam Apataha, Tvam Achalaha, Tvam Alabhataha, Tvam Asevataha. Similarly, Yuvam Apatatam, Yuvam Achalatam, Yuvam Alabhetam, Yuvam Asevetam. Yuyam Apatata, Yuyam Achalata, Yuyam Alabhatvam, Yuyam Asevatvam. Okay? That is in Bahuvachana. Then Uttama Purusha. Aham. We are on page 84, Geetha Sopanam book. So, Uttama Purusha. Aham Apatham, Aham Achalam, Aham Alabhe, Aham Aseve. Avam Apathava, Avam Achalava. We both are going, we both are reading. Sorry, we both read, we both went. Avam Alabhavahi. We both obtained. Avam Asevavahi. We both served. Vayam Apathama, Vayam Achalama, Vayam Alabhamahi, Vayam Asevamahi. We all read, we all went, we all obtained, we all served. Okay, like that. So, and then we have the Dhatu Rupam is given and the Purusha is given. In that, whatever Purusha is mentioned in the brackets, we have to write those forms in the blanks. So, Pat Dhatu in Prathama Purusha. Apathat, Apathatam, Apathan. Shuch, Ashochat, Ashochatam, Ashochan. Nam in Madhyama Purusha. So, in Madhyama Purusha, what does the form become? Anamaha, Anamatam, Anamata. So, Anamaha, Anamatam, Anamata. Vad means Vadati in Uttama Purusha. What will it become?
Avadam.
Avadat. Sorry, Avadam, Avadava, Avadama. Char means Charati. In Madhyama Purusha, what does it become?
Acharaha.
Charaha.
Acharaha.
Charatam. Acharatam. Acharata. And then Stha Dhatu in Prathama Purusha. Atishtat, Atishtatam, Atishtan. Atishtan, Bahuvachane. And then Dhatu means Harati. In Latlakara Prathama Purusha Ekavachana, it is Harati. In Madhyama Purusha, we are supposed to give. So, Aharaha, Aharatam, Aharata. Jna Dhatu, Janati. In Latlakara Prathama Purusha Ekavachana, it is Janati. Here we are asked to write in Uttama Purusha. Ajanam, Ajanama, Ajanama.
Nama, Nava.
Ajanava, Ajanama. the dvivachana and the bahuvachana. And then we have gam dhatu with a prefix, a upasarga in prathama purusha. So agachat. Now gam, just the gam dhatu would have become agachat, but we have a prefix upasarga a. So a plus agachat. Savarna dirgha sandhi will happen and we'll get agachat. Okay, agachat, agachatam, agachan. Okay, agachat, agachatam, agachan. Pat dhatu. In prathama purusha latlakara ekavachana, it is patati. Now we are asked in madhyama purusha. Apataha, apatatam, apatata. Drish dhatu in uttama purusha. Okay, so it is pashyati. In latlakara prathama purusha ekavachana, it is pashyati. Here we have apashyam, apashyava, apashyama. And then bhramati. In prathama purusha latlakara ekavachana bhramati. Here in prathama purusha we are asked, so abhramat, abhramatam, abhraman. Smru, smarati. In madhyama purusha asmaraha, asmaratam, asmarata. Okay, and then gai means gayati. In prathama purusha latlakara ekavachana gayati. In uttama purusha we are asked agayam, agayava, agayama. Okay, and then prach in prathama purusha. So aprachat, aprachatam, aprachan. And then shru means shravati, right? No, shrunomi. Shrunomi. Here we are asked in madhyama purusha. Ashrunu, ashrunutam, ashrunuta. Okay, and then kath in prathama purusha. Akathayat, akathayatam, akathayat. And then we have ramu. In prathama purusha latlakara ekavachanam, it is ramate. So it is atmanepadi dhatu. We are asked in madhyama purusha. So aramathah, arametham,
Ramedvam.
ramadvam. Ramedvam na, ramadvam. Okay. Iksha dhatu. It is also an atmanepadi. So latlakara prathama purusha ekavachana is ikshate. Always go back to the latlakara prathama purusha ekavachana form. It will help you connect all the forms. It is like an anchor. So make it a habit wherever you see a dhatu or another form of a kriya padam. Try what it will be. Try to recollect what it will be in the prathama purusha ekavachana of latlakara. Okay. So here it is ikshate. In uttama purusha. In uttama purusha it is aikshe, aikshavahi, aikshamahi. Then seva. Seva is also an atmanepadi kriyapadam. Sevate is the prathama purusha ekavachana in latlakara. Now we are in lanlakara. Asevata, aseveta, asevanta. Okay. This is in prathama purusha. Okay. So these are the forms. Now for homework, what you can do is try to write all the purushas for each of these dhatus. So here in the for the pat dhatu, only the prathama purusha is being asked. As homework, you can write the madhyama purusha and uttama purusha also. Okay. So apathat, apathatam, apathan, apataha, apathatam, apathatha, apatham, apathava, apatham. Like that, you write for all. No matter which purusha is asked here, write all three purushas. Then that will be a very good practice and you will remember the forms very well. Okay. So we are on page number 85. Moving on to the next topic, sma. Okay. So sma means it is like past continuous tense. Okay. Past continuous tense. I used to live. Delhi, say for example. Okay, I used to live there. I was living there like several years back. Rama used to sing, or Sita used to dance when she was a little girl. Okay, so in that sense, we use sma. Now let us look at this small conversation. We'll understand it better. Etat sambhashanam uchchaihi patata avagacchata cha. Pitamahi vatsa aham hyaha ekam katham ashravayam. Smarasi kim? Balakah. Am smarami. Pitamahi. Tarhi vada. Kaha kaha kim kim karoti sma. What were they doing in the story? What were all of them doing in the story? Balakah. Sanjayaha shravayati sma. Sanjaya was telling. Okay? Shravayati. It is like shrunoti. In this is called a nijanta form. Shravayati means he was telling. He was making Dhritarashtra listen. Okay, like pathati and pathayati. Okay, shrunoti and shravayati. Okay, so Sanjayaha shravayati sma. Dhritarashtraha shrunoti sma. So Sanjaya was telling and Dhritarashtra was listening. Arjunaha dukkham anubhavati sma. Arjuna was feeling sad. Krishnaha bodhayati sma. And Krishna was telling. So this is the scenario. Sanjaya was telling, Dhritarashtra was listening, Arjuna was feeling bad, Krishna was consoling him. Pitamahi. Samyak. Krishnaha kim karoti sma. What was Krishna doing? Balakaha. Krishnaha Pandavanam Margadarshanam karoti sma. He was guiding the Pandavas. Sarveshu utsaham purayati sma. Okay. In everybody, he was making them feel excited. Utsaham. He was making utteja parashatam. He was kind of mobilizing them. Ashvanam paricharanam karoti sma. Okay. Ashvanam paricharanam means grazing, we can say, or just warming them up also we can say. Sarvan yuddha nitim bodhayati sma. To everybody, sarvan, dvitiya vibhakti bahuvachane asti. So to everyone, yuddha nitim bodhayati sma. He was teaching the yuddha niti to everybody. Ratham chalayati sma. He was driving the chariot. Arjunasya rakshanam kurute sma. He was providing or protecting Arjuna. Okay. So if it were only Bhutakala, he protected Arjuna. We would say Krishna protected Arjuna. Right? That is simple past tense. Krishna was protecting Arjuna. So we are in that past. We are telling what is happening at that point of time. So to indicate that, we use sma. Okay. Aham purvam nrityami sma. Okay. Like that. So when we are using sma, the best way or the simplest way for you to remember how to put the sentence is, you first write the sentence in simple present tense. Aham nrityam karomi. Simply add sma. It will become past continuous. Aham nrityam karomi sma. Don't use past tense like aham nrityam kritavati sma. No. Aham nrityam karomi. I dance. Sma. I used to dance. I was dancing. In both senses, I used to dance. Okay, that is like something that has happened in the past for a certain period. I danced means that is simple past tense. I danced. It could indicate just once. Okay, or maybe several occasions. I danced every Friday during the month of August, something like that. But for a period of time, if something is happening, then we use a sma to tell that, or present continuous, when we are going back into that time and what is happening at that point of time. To explain that also we use sma. Uparitanam sambhashanam pathitva prashnanam uttarani likhata. So based on the conversation above, some questions are given. Kaha shravayati sma?
Sanjayah shravayati sma.
Sanjayah shravayati sma. Kaha dukkham anubhavati sma?
Arjunah
Arjunah dukkham anubhavati sma. Krishnah sarveshu kim purayati sma?
Sarveshu Utsaha
Utsahanam purayati sma.
Utsahanam na utsaham purayati sma. Kaha ratham chalayati sma?
Krishnah ratham chalayati sma.
Krishnah ratham chalayati sma. Krishnah kasya rakshanam kurute sma?
Arjunasya
Krishnah
Rakshanam
Arjunah Rakshanam
Arjuna's protection he was doing. See, there are two ways to say this. He's protecting Arjuna, or he's providing protection for Arjuna. Okay? Here it is in that sense. Krishna Arjunasya rakshanam kurute sma. Okay? Or if you want to say Krishna protected Arjuna, Krishna Arjunam rakshati. Like that we say. Okay? So here rakshanam, we studied this, no, splitting of the kriya padam we have studied. So when we split the kriya padam into the noun part of it,
into karoti.
the noun part of it and along with the kurute or karoti, you can use the parasmaipadi or atmanepadi form of the kru dhatu. Then the karma padam, which should have been in the karma padam, which should have been in the dvitiya vibhakti, will be put in shashti vibhakti. So Krishna Arjunasya rakshanam kurute sma. So Krishna was providing rakshana for Arjuna. Kaha katham shrunoti sma?
Dhritarashtraha Shrunoti sma.
Dhritarashtraha katham shrunoti sma. Uttamam. Anantaram. Yathodaharanam puratah vidyamanam dhatum patitva vakyani rachayata. Okay. So we are on page number 86. 9th question. Jna dhatu. So looking at the dhatu that is given on the right hand side, we have to write sentences. So for the jna dhatu, let us see what is happening. Arjunaha dhanur vidyam janati sma. Okay. So like I said, when we are using sma, we can use the vartamana kala form only. Okay. You don't have to use the bhutakala with sma. You have to use vartamana kala form only. So Arjunaha dhanur vidyam janati sma. Yes.
Bhagini, excuse me. Atra kaha katam shrunoti sma katam shrunoti balakaha na agachyati va katam matamahi vadati balakaha shrunoti kalu ashuddham va
ekavaram katham aham hyaha kaha katham shrunoti sma balakaha. Yes. So here Pitamahi told a story, and in that story we have all these. What did we say? Krishna we said. No. Dhritarashtraha we said.
Katam na Dhritarashtra shrunoti.
So we can look at it as two ways. Kaha katham, since the word katham is mentioned, and since Pitamahi said aham hyaha ekam katham ashravayam, you can tell balakaha. Balakaha katham shrunoti sma. That is fine. Because what Sanjaya was telling is not a story, right? He was telling the facts. So like that also we can look at it. Yes.
Dhanyavad.
So Arjunaha dhanur vidyam janati sma. Bhimaha bahu khadati sma. Duryodhanaha irshyam
Karoti sma.
Uttamam. Krishnaha leelam Darshayati means to show. Okay. Darshayati means to show. Pashyati means to see. Like pathati is to read, pathayati is to make somebody read. So pashyati is to see, darshayati is to show. So here the verb totally changes in the nijanta form. Okay. Pashyati, darshayati. It is going back to its root. Drish dhatu. So darshayati means to show. So Krishnaha leelam darshayati sma. So Krishna was showing his leelas. Was showing. Okay. It is not he showed. He was showing his leelas during the Treta Yuga. Bhishmaha Kauravanam Pakshataha
युद्धयति स्म
करोति स्म
Yuddham Karoti Sma.
युद्धं करोति स्म
Kauravanam Pakshataha. Bhishmaha Kauravanam Pakshataha Yuddham Karoti Sma.
युद्धं करोति स्म
Shakunihi Sarvada Kutam Rachayati Sma.
रक्षति स्म
Okay, Rachati is also there. That form also is there. Rachayati is also there. Both you can use. Means he's always making plots. Kutam is a plot. Shakuni is always busy making plots. Okay. Kauravaha Pandavan na
इच्छति
इच्छति स्म
Ichanti. Kauravaha
Ichanti.
Bahuvachane. So Ichanti Sma.
इच्छन्ति स्म
Kauravaha Pandavan na Ichanti Sma. Yudhishthiraha Satyam
ब्रवति स्म
ब्रवीति स्म
Braviti
Bravi-
Sma. Yudhishthiraha Satyam Braviti or Brute. In Atmanepadi it is Brute. In Parasmaipadi it is Braviti. So Braviti Sma or Brute Sma. Arjunaha
अर्जुनः भाषते स्म
Bhashate Sma. Bhash is a Atmanepadi dhatu. So Bhashate Sma. In Vartamana Kala Latlakara Bhashate. Sainikaha
लोकते
लोकन्ते स्म
लोकन्ते स्म
Lokante Sma. Lokate Ekavachanam. Here Sainikaha Bahuvachane Asti. Ataha Lokante Sma. Sainikaha Lokante Sma. Means the Sainikas were looking. Okay. Lokate means to look. Yathodaharanam Riktasthanani Purayata. Balakaha Pathati Sma. In Dvivachanam, Balakau Pathatah Sma. Balakaha Pathanti Sma. So what did you notice here? Sma doesn't change. With Ekavachana, Dvivachana or Bahuvachana, Sma doesn't change. So that is the point to be noted here. Okay. It is an Avyayam. It does not change. With Vibhakti, Vachana or Linga or Purusha. With anything it does not change. So we can say that it is an Avyayam. Okay. Shishuhu Khelati Sma. Shishuhu. Ukaranta Pumlinga like Guruhu. What is the Dvivachana of Guruhu?
शिशुः
Guruhu, Guru, Guravaha. Right? So
Shishu.
Shishu. The Dvivachana is Shishu. Tu Tataha
केलतः स्म
Sma. Bahuvachane Shishavaha Khelanti Sma.
लन्ति स्म
Munihi Japati Sma.
मुनि जपति स्म
स्म
जपतः स्म
Muni
जपतः स्म
Muni Japataha
मुनि
Sma.
जपतः स्म
In Bahuvachanam,
मुनयः जपन्ति स्म
जपन्ति
Nayaha Japanti Sma. Vadhuhu Samacharam Pathati Sma. Vadhuhu. Ukaranta Strilinga Shabda.
वधू
वद्व
Vadvau.
वद्वौ
In Dvivachana it is Vadvau.
पाठतः
Pathatah. Pathatah. So
पठतः
Vadvau Samacharam Pathatah Sma. Aham, sorry, Bahuvachane.
वधुवः
वः
Vadvaha Samacharam Pathanti Sma.
पठन्ति स्म
Anantaram. Aham Dhyayami Sma.
आवाह
आवां ध्यायति स्म
Dhyayami. Patami. Patavaha. Patamaha. Right?
ध्यायावः
Dhyayami. Dhyayavaha. Dhyayamaha. So avam dhyayavah sma. Vayam dhyayamaha sma. Okay. Bhavan atati sma.
Bhavantau
Bhavantau atataha sma.
Atataha sma.
Bahuvachane.
Bhavantaha
Bhavantah.
Atatah sma.
Atanti sma. Bahuvachane atanti. So bhavan atati sma. Bhavantau atataha sma. Bhavantaha atanti sma. Bhavantaha atanti sma. Atati, atataha, atanti. Atati means to simply wander about. Eshaha patham smarati sma. Vachane?
एतौ
Etau
पाठं स्मरतः
patham parataha
Parataha
sma.
sma. Anantaram Sita Bhagini, Bhavati vadatu. Bahuvachanam.
Ete patham sparanti sma.
No, I am searching for.
Ete patham smaranti sma. Sita Bhagini.
Ete patam smaranti sma.
The next sentence tell Bhavati Vishayam Chintayati Sma.
Bhavati Vishayam Chintayati sma.
Chintayati. In Dvivachana will become Chintayataha. Right? Pathati Pathataha. What will Bhavati become in Dvivachana?
Bhavati Bhavatyau.
So you have to change both.
Yeah, Bhavatyau Vishayam Chintayataha sma.
Bahuvachane?
Chintayataha, right?
Purnam Vakyam vadatu. Purnam Vakyam vadatu.
Bhavatyau Vishayam Chintayataha sma.
Dvivachane. Bahuvachane?
Bhavati Bhavatyau Bhavatyah. Bhavatyah Vishayam Chintayanti sma.
Chintayanti. Chintayanti na. Chintayanti sma.
Chintayanti sma.
Uttamam. Anantaram Rajendran Mahodaya. Sa modate sma.
Ete
न जानामि
Kim Mahodaya? Sa modate sma. Dvivachane kim bhavishyati?
सा ते मोदेते स्म
Ante. Ante. Te modete sma. Okay. Bahuvachane?
ते ताः मोदन्ते स्म
Uttamam. Taha modante sma. Uttamam. The ninth sentence. Saha sukham labhate sma. Saha sukham labhate sma. Dvivachane? Tau sukham
Sukham
labhete sma. Labhete. In Bahuvachane, te sukham labhante sma. Okay. And 11th sentence. Sindhu Bhagini. Sindhu Bhagini. Aham yache sma. Sindhu Bhagini asti va? Okay. So Sita Bhagini. Aham yache sma.
Aham yache sma. Avam yachavahe sma. Vayam yachamahe sma.
Okay. Uttamam. Uttamam. So now let us look at the story. We are on page number 87. Okay. 23rd lesson. Krodha Pishachaha. Krodha Pishachaha. Etam katham patitva adaha dattanam prashnanam uttarani likhata. Any questions until what we have covered so far? Before starting the lesson, if you have any questions, please ask. Okay. So let us continue. Ekada Sri Krishnaha Balaramaha Satyakihi cha Vanaviharartham Gatavantaha Asan. Okay. So once Sri Krishna, Balarama and Satyakihi, they simply went to a stroll in the forest. Vane te margabhrashtaha jataha. In the forest, they lost their way. Okay, margabhrashtaha jataha. They got lost. Nibidam vanam pravishtavantaha. So they entered the thick forest. So they were trying to simply go about at the edge of the forest, but they missed. They got lost and they went deep into the forest. Ratrihi sanjata. It became dark. Taihi ratrim yapayitum ekasya vrikshasya adaha upaveshtavyam apatitam. So they have to spend the night. So they chose a tree. Ekasya vrikshasya adaha. Under that, they decided to settle down. So they sat apatitam. They settled down. Upaveshtavyam apatitam. So to sit, they decided they settled under the tree. Ratrau rakshanartham ekaikaha api paryaya rupena ekam praharam yavat jagaritaha bhavet. Tada anyabhyam dvabhyam nidram kartum shakyate. Iti te nischitavantaha. So ratrau, during the night, rakshanartham, to protect themselves, ekaikaha api paryaya rupena means taking turns. Ekaikaha paryaya rupena ekam praharam yavat jagaritaha bhavet. Praharam means 8th part of a day. Okay. Another meaning is to strike and hit. Okay. Praharati. That is one meaning. Another meaning is 8th part of a day. Means 24 hours are there. 8th part of 24 hours is 3 hours. So 3-hour period is called a praharam. So ekam praharam yavat jagaritaha bhavet. So they decided that each person will stay awake for 3 hours to protect, for protection. Tada, then anyabhyam dvabhyam nidram kartum shakyate. So that the other two can rest. There is no point all 3 of them sitting awake and then all of them falling asleep at the same time. So they decided they will take turns and each one of them will be awake for 3 hours. Prathamaha paryayaha Satyakehe asit. So the first turn was that of Satyaki. Saha prahari samskritaha. So he was prahari here means protecting or guarding, not protecting, guarding. So he was guarding. Okay, prahari san sthitaha. That sun word is used to indicate that action is happening right now. It is in running right now. Okay, so prahari san sthitaha. So he was guarding and staying awake. Yada anyau dvau nidram kritavantau tada vrikshataha ekaha pishachaha avatirnavan. So as and when the other two fell asleep, from the tree, one pishacha, okay, came down. Avatirnavan. Saha Satyakim Mallayuddhartham Ahutavan. So that pishacha, what it did do, it invited Satyaki for the Mallayuddha. Bahuni Katuvachanani Uktavancha. So initially Satyaki was not interested. So he provoked the Satyaki by saying so many Katuvachanani. Satyakihi tasya Katuvachananam krite tadrishani eva uttarani dattavan. Now Satyaki also gave similar kind of reply. Means he also replied using Katuvachanani. Yada pishachaha Satyakehe sharire mushti praharam kritavan tada Satyakihi tadupari pada praharam kritavan. So as and when this pishacha was striking with his mushti, means with his fist, mushti praharam kritavan tada, then Satyaki tadupari, on the pishacha, Padapraharam kritavan. He was hitting him with his feet. Purnam praharam yavat tayoho mallayuddham prachalat. So Purnam praharam. Praharam is 3 hours. So for all these 3 hours, tayoho mallayuddham prachalat. Okay, the mallayuddham happened. Tena satyakehe sharire bahavaha kshataha sanjata. So because of this mallayuddham for so long, all his body had wounds. Okay. Saha nitaram shrantaha. Shrantaha means to be tired. Nitaram means completely. Nitaram shrantaha. Kintu tasmin samaye sahayoginaha utthapanasya apekshaya nidrakaranam eva uchitam iti vichintya saha nidram kritavan. So he got so tired, he couldn't stay awake anymore. And then he saw that his time is up anyways. So he thought, okay, it is time for the next person to take over. So let me just sleep. So he fell asleep. Dvitiyaha paryayaha Balaramasya asit. The second turn was Balaramas. Tam api pishachaha malla yuddhartham ahutavan. Katu vachanaihi ninditavan cha. So again, this pishacha provoked him with katu vachanam. Vachanani. Malla yuddhe mahavirena balaramena api sa eva gatihi prapta. So even this Mahavira, Balarama also obtained the same situation or the same gati. Okay. As Satyaki, means his body also was filled with wounds and he also was totally tired. Shrantaha saha api praharante nidram kritavan. So at the end of his prahara, he was so tired that he simply fell asleep. Tritiye paryaye Sri Krishnaha suraksha nimittam agatavan. So the third turn was Sri Krishna's. So he started taking his turn. Tam api pishachaha malla yuddhartham ahutavan. Him also, Krishna also, the pishacha invited for malla yuddham. Krishnaha hasan eva yuddham kartum arabdhavan. So he started his fight with his smile. Uktavancha, and also said this, Bhavan bahu vinoda priyaha iva bhasate. You appear to be a fun-loving person. Mama nidram alasyam cha duri kartumeva bhavan mitram iva vinodam kurvannasti. So, see, taking God is not easy, right? I will be feeling sleepy, I will be feeling lazy, only to keep me awake. You are doing all this, funny things. Like a friend, only a friend will help you, do your job. So like a friend, you are providing all this entertainment only to keep me awake and do my job. Tada pishachasya balam nyunam jatam. So his balam got reduced. Nyunam means reduced. Tasya shariram api shankuchat jatam. Okay, sankuchat means shrinking. So his shariram also shrunk. Ante saha jhillika iva laghu shariraha jataha. Jhillika is a small insect like cricket. Okay, so like that he became. Like how small a cricket can be, like that this pishacha has become that small. Tada Shri Krishnaha tam swasya uttariyasya anchale baddhavan. Now uttariyam is there, no, the robe that they put on top of them. Anchale means at the edge of that rope, he tied this pishacha in his uttariyam. Prataha yada te prasthitaha tada satyakihi balaramaha cha pishachena saha ratrau sanjatasya mallayuddhasya varnanam kritavantav. Next day, when they were beginning to leave, prasthitaha yada te prasthitaha, when they were about to leave, tada, then Satyaki and Balaramaha, they were describing their fight with the pishacha. Tena sanjatan kshatan api darshitavantav. They were showing each other the wounds that have happened. Shri Krishnaha hasan pishacham uttariyasya achalataha Nishkasya karatale sthapitavan uktavan cha. Now, upon listening to them both, Sri Krishna, he laughed and he removed the pishacha from his uttariyam and put it on his hand, and he was showing them and saying, Eshaha asti krodha pishachaha. This is none other than krodha pishachaha. Etasya prakritihi esha asti. So his nature is like this, like how pratyuttaradanena eshaha vardhate. He will grow bigger and bigger and stronger with back answers. Okay? Pratyuttaradanena. Ugratam cha prapnoti. Vardhate. Eshaha vardhate. Ugratam means in the Ugra Rupam also, in the anger also, it will become more. Kintu yadi upeksham kurmaha. Upeksha means neglect, completely ignoring. Yadi upeksham kurmaha tarhi saha swayameva durbalaha bhavati. So if we ignore him completely without being provoked by him, then he will become he will lose his strength. Durbalaha bhavati. Laghurupam prapnoti, and he will also become smaller in size. Iti. Krodha pishachasya swarupam tada jnatavantau satyaki balaramau. So then they came to know about this Krodha Pishachi and the Swarupam of the Krodha Pishacha. Okay, at that point of time. Now let us look at the Abhyasa. Any questions in the lesson? Okay. So let us look at the questions. Prathama paryaye kaha rakshanam kritavan?
Pisachaki.
Purnam vakyam vadatu.
Okay, okay.
पर्याये
पर्याय कः सात्यकी रक्षणं कृतवान्
Satyakihi rakshanam kritavan. Kaha mallayuddhartham ahutavan?
Pishachaha mallayuddhartham ahutavan.
Pishachaha mallayuddhartham ahutavan. Pishachaha kim uktavan?
Pishachaha
Katuna vachanani uktavan. Pishachaha katuna vachanani uktavan. Balaramaha praharante kim kritavan?
Praharante nidram kritavan.
Balaramaha praharante nidram kritavan. Kasmin paryaye Sri Krishnaha suraksha nimittam agatavan?
Balaraman
paryaye.
Tritiye paryaye Sri Krishnaha suraksha nimittam agatavan. Krishnaha pishacham kutra baddhavan?
Krishnaha
pishacham uttariye baddhavan.
Uttariyasya anchale baddhavan. Mallayuddhasya varnanam kau kritavantau?
Varnanam Sri Krishnaha
ज्ञानवन्तौ
बलरामः सात्यकी च
Balaramaha Satyakihi cha Mallayuddhasya varnanam kritavantau. So Harihi, Ikaranta Shabda, in Dvivachana Hari it will become, right? So Kau kritavantau Balarama Satyaki kritavantau, we can say. Okay? Or if we put Satyaki in the front and Balarama later, then Satyaki Balaramau kritavantau. Mallayuddhasya varnanam, if you want to make it a compound word, you can also put it separately. Satyakihi Balaramaha cha Mallayuddhasya varnanam kritavantau. If you want to make these two words into a compound word, then Satyaki Balaramau, because it is a compound word and has two words in it, we have to put in Dvivachana. Balaramaha, Akaranta Umlinga Rama Shabda. In Dvivachana Prathama Vibhakti, it will be Ramaha Ramau. So Balaramau. Satyaki Balaramau Kritavantau. if you put Satyaki at the end and Balarama in the beginning, then you have to follow the rules of Satyaki, Ikaranta Pumlinga Shabda. Ikaranta Pumlinga Shabda is Harihi. Harihi, Hari, Karayaha. Satyaki. So Balarama Satyaki, it will become. Okay, this is a compound word, a Samastapadam, Dvandva Samasa it is called. We'll learn that later on, but just because it is a little simple, I simply mentioned. Okay, like that also you can say. Okay, Anantaram. Etesham Uttaranam Prashna Nirmanam Kuruta. So here we have some Uttaras, Uttarani. And for that we have to form a Prashna. Trayaha Nibidam Vanam Pravishtavantaha. Prashnam vadatu.
निबिडं वनं प्रविष्टवन्तः के निबिडं वनं प्रविष्टवन्तः
ते के nibidam vanam pravishtavantaha. Okay. Another way of framing the same framing question for the same sentence.
Trayaga nibidam kutra pravishtavantaha.
Nibidam also you can include in the vanam itself. Trayaha kutra pravishtavantaha. Trayaha nibidam vanam pravishtavantaha. Because nibidam is an adjective of vanam, so you cannot separate it. Satyakihi prathamaha prahari sansthitaha.
Kah prathamaha prahari sanstitaha.
Kaha prathamaha prahari sanstitaha. Who was doing the first prahari? Satyaki. Another way of framing question for the same answer.
प्रथम प्रहरी
Kasmin pragari sanstitaha.
Kim punaha vadatu.
Satyakihi kasmin pragari sanstitaha.
Kasmin is not necessary. Kim kurvan sthitaha. Doing what? He was standing there. Doing prahari. Prathamaha prahari. Sun. Okay. So here Prathamaha prahari is in Prathama Vibhakti only. So we don't have to put Saptami Vibhakti in the Prashna. Okay. We can simply say Kim kurvan. Doing what? Doing what is he standing there? Prathamaha prahari sun. In the question, you normally will not have sun. Kim kurvan, that kurvan itself will indicate the continuous action. So, Kim kurvan sthitaha, Satyakihi, Kim kurvan sthitaha, doing what was he standing there? Prathamaha prahari san sthitaha. Okay, like that we can say. Pishachaha malla yuddhartham ahutavan.
पिशाचः किमर्थम् आहूतवान्
Uttamam.
Kaha malla yuddhartham ahutavan.
Kaha malla yuddhartham ahutavan. We can say both. Krishnaha hasan yuddham arabdhavan.
Krishnaga katham
युद्धम्
arabdhavan.
Katham, instead of Katham, Kim Kurvan. Again, doing what he invited for the, or he started the war. Whenever this Hasan or son, okay. So here, Hasan, in Hasan, the son is included in it. Whereas in the above sentence, the Prahari son, that continuous part is separated as a son. Here it is included. Hasan has that son in it. So Kim Kurvan Yuddham Arabdhavan, doing what? He started the war. Hasan. Krishnaha Hasan Yuddham Arabdhavan. Like that. Praharati is the Kriya Padam. So Praharati. In the present continuous form, it will become Praharan. If you want to say the Prahari son as one word, Praharan, we can say. So here Hasan. Okay. So this, so Kim Kurvan Yuddham Arabdhavan, we can say. Okay. Another way, another question for the same answer. Kaha Hasan Yuddham Arabdhavan. Who started the war laughing? Okay. Kaha Hasan Yuddham Arabdhavan. That is another question. Krishnaha Pishacham.
Krishnaha Hasan Kim Arabdhavan.
That is another question. Very good. Krishna, while laughing, what did he start? Did he start a conversation? No. Yuddham Arabdhavan. Good. Krishnaha Pishacham Uttariyasya Anchale Baddhavan.
Kaha Pishacham Uttariyasya Anchale
Krishnaha Pishacham Kutra Baddhavan.
Krishnaha Pishacham Kutra Baddhavan. That is one question. Another question?
Krishnaga kam uttariyasya anchale baddhavan.
Krishnaha
Kam
Uttariyasya Anchale Baddhavan. Whom did he tie at the end of his Uttariyam? Good.
Kaha Pishacham Uttariyasya Anchale Baddhavan.
Who tied the Pishacha at the end of the Uttariyam? Kaha Pishacham Uttariyasya Anchale Baddhavan. Very good. Krishnaha Pishacham Anchalataha Nishkasitavan.
Kim Achalataha Nikashitavan.
Come. You have to say come. Why? Because Pishacha is a Pumlinga Shabda. So Pumlinga Shabda Kaha will become come. Kim will indicate Napumsakalinga Shabda. Okay. So Krishnaha kam Anchalataha Nishkasitavan. Uttamam. Another question?
Kaha Pishacham Uchalataha Nishkritavan.
Anchalataha Nishkasitavan.
Nishkativan. Nishkasitivan.
Who removed?
Pishacham Achalataha Kim Kritavan.
Krishnaha Pishacham Anchalataha from his the end of the rope. What did Krishna do to the Pishacha? He removed. And another thing is Anchalataha. Kutaha. From where? Okay. Krishnaha Pishacham Kutaha Nishkasitavan. From where did he bring out the Pishacha? That is another question. And then Asamanarthakam Shabdam Vichinuta. So here we have some words. Out of those, we have to pick the odd man out. Sri Krishnaha, Achyutaha, Gudakeshaha, Varshneyaha, and Hrishikeshaha. Which one does not belong with the rest?
Gudakeshan.
Gudakeshaha, because Gudakeshaha is a name for Arjuna. So it does not belong here. Okay. Then Margaha, Ayanam, Pragatihi, Vartma, Srutihi.
Pragatihi.
Pragatihi va Srutihi va?
Srutihi.
Then Yuddham, Anakaha, Ahavaha, Sangramaha, Yuddha.
Anakaha.
Anakaha va Ahavaha va? Ahavaha. Anaka also means Yuddham only. Anakam antam kada. Means army.
Okay.
Shariram. Tanuhu, Kalevaram, Dehaha, Tatam.
Tatam.
Tatame. Endukante all the other three mean Shariram. Mitram. Sakha, Shuchihi, Sahrud, Sahayaha.
Sahayaha.
Suchihi.
Sahayaha means also a friend. He who helps you. Sahayaha means he who helps you. Who will help you? Only a friend. So Shuchihi. Shuchihi means Shuddham. Sainyam. Sena, Anikam, Chamuhu, Rishikam.
Rishikam.
Rishikam. Yes. Then Shuddha Vakyanam Purataha check mark Chinham Likhata. Ekada Shri Krishnaha Arjunaha Satyakihi cha Vanaviharartham Gatavantaha.
Ashuddham.
Shuddham va. Shuddham. Shuddhameva.
Arjuna ekkada?
Arjuna kaadu. Arjuna.
Oh, correct. Arjuna lady. Sorry. So Ashuddham. Ratrau Rakshanartham Trayaha Upavishtavantaha.
Ashuddham.
Ashuddham.
Prathamaha Paryayaha Krishnasya Asit.
Adi kuda ashuddham.
Trayah Paryayah Krishnasya Asit.
Is that Shuddham va Ashuddham va?
Ashuddham.
Devesh and Mahesh, are you still trying to frame question for that?
No, ma'am, I'm not trying to say the question. I'm trying to say the correct sentence for the wrong one.
Okay, so what did you say?
Trayah Paryayah Krishnasya Asit.
Oh, okay. I did not hear the first word, Trayaha. I only heard Paryayaha Krishnasya Asit. So I was wondering what you were saying. Okay. Pishachaha Malla Yuddhartham Ahutavan.
Suddha.
Suddham. Krishnaha Pishacham Vrikshe Baddhavan.
Asatyam.
Ashuddham. Krodha Pishachasya Prakritihi Esha Upekshaya Kshinaha Bhavati.
Satyam.
Shuddham. Krodha Pishachasya Prakriti will become weak if we ignore him. Upekshaya. Okay, by ignoring him, we can make him weak. Okay? Okay, good. Any questions so far? Okay. So that completes the Bhutakala. And the next lesson, lesson number 24 on page number 19, I will simply briefly give an introduction and we'll continue in the next class. So Upasargaha. This is about Upasarga, which I was telling earlier. So Upasargaha means prefixes. So sometimes we can add these prefixes to the dhatu. Okay. And the Kriyapadam will become, we will get a Kriyapadam with the Upasarga. And by the addition of an Upasarga, the meaning of a Kriyapadam, the meaning of the dhatu, can remain the same sometimes, can be enhanced much more, can be made stronger, can become the opposite meaning, or can be totally different. They don't even have to be related. So these are the 4 ways an Upasarga will change the meaning of the Kriyapadam. 1, no change. Okay, it will be the same. Second, it will enhance the meaning of the Kriyapadam. Third one, it will change to the opposite, like Gachati, Agachati. Okay. And then the 4th one is, they will be totally different. Like Pranayati. Pranayati means to compose. And another thing is to marry. Okay. So these are 2 different things. But they have 2 different meanings basically. So that also can happen. Okay. And then.
Excuse me, Bhagini.
Yes.
Eka Sanka. Tena Sanjatan Shatan Darshitavantau, meaning.
Say that again. Bhagini, can you repeat that word?
Last paragraph, in the last paragraph, second line. Tena Sanjatan Shatan api Darshitavantau, meaning.
Okay. In the story,
Bhagini.
In the last paragraph,
Last paragraph, second line.
Second line. Tena sanjatan kshatan api darshitavantau. Here, tena means by that. And what is that here? The Malla Yuddham. Okay. By the Malla Yuddham, Sanjatan, whatever has happened, Kshatan, the wounds that have occurred because of the Malla Yuddham, Api Darshitavantav. They were not only talking about the Pishacha and the Malla Yuddha that the Pishacha did, but they were also showing each other the wounds that they procured because of that Malla Yuddha. So Sanjatam means happening. Tena, by the Malla Yuddha. Kshatan, the wounds that happened because of the Malla Yuddha, also they were showing each other. They not only were talking about the Pishacha and the Malla Yuddha, how it happened, they were also showing each other the wounds that they got through this, by this Malla Yuddha. Any other questions? Anyone? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So basically Upasargas. Okay. We have 22 Upasargas in all. 22 Upasargas in all. These can be used. You can use only one Upasarga, 2, 3, 4. Any number of Upasargas can be used. There is no limit. Okay. But it is not mandatory to use. Only when there is a need, it has to be used. Okay. And based on which Upasarga we are using, the meaning also can change. We cannot simply add Upasargas by ourselves. There are some rules regarding that. And according to those rules only, those Upasargas can be added. Not any Upasarga can be joined with any Kriya Padam. So again, for that, Panini's sutras will tell. And depending on how they, depending on the dhatu, like which Upasarga will change that dhatu in what way. All such things are also explained through Panini's sutras. Here, though we do not study the Panini's sutras, we will simply learn the Upasargas, what are there, and how they are added to certain Kriyapadams and how that Kriyapadam will change. So here, by the addition of the Upasarga, only Sandhi will happen. What is Sandhi is the joining of two letters is called Sandhi. Okay, there is no other thing going on there, just the joining of two letters, just two letters. Those two letters can be two vowels or a vowel and a consonant or two consonants also. Okay, and there can be Visarga also. So depending on that, we have some rules again. Like if which two vowels join, what will happen? Which two consonants join, what will happen? All that again we have rules. Those are those we will study under Sandhi, which is not in this level. But when an Upasarga is joining with a Kriyapadam, and if the conditions are favorable for a Sandhi to happen, then Sandhi will occur. So that will change the form of the word, just the appearance of the word. Okay, the phonetic appearance of the word. But then sometimes by the addition of certain Upasargas, a Parasmaipadi dhatu can change into Atmanepadi also. And Atmanepadi can change into Parasmaipadi also. But not always. Only sometimes, only with certain prefixes. Now, not with all prefixes that dhatu will not have that. Only certain prefixes, when joined with certain dhatus, only then that dhatu can change from Parasmaipadi Rupam to Atmanepadi Rupam. The same Upasarga, when you join it with some other dhatu, it may not change that dhatu from Parasmaipadi to Atmanepadi. So it is only certain combinations where that will happen, where a Parasmaipadi dhatu can be changed into Atmanepadi and vice versa. And Atmanepadi dhatu can also be changed into Parasmaipadi, depending on the Upasarga that it is joined with. There will be some dhatus which are Ubhayapadi, right? So they have a Parasmaipadi form and an Atmanepadi form. Say, for example, the addition of a particular Upasarga is changing this dhatu into Atmanepadi. So then the Parasmaipadi form is lost with that Upasarga for that particular dhatu. So initially it was an Ubhayapadi before the addition of the Upasarga. After the addition of the Upasarga, it will simply become only Atmanepadi. It will lose the status of Ubhayapadi. Vice versa can also happen. It can only become Parasmaipadi and lose the status of Atmanepadi. Okay. So like that, several things can happen. And for that also, like what will happen when are given in Panini's sutras, which is beyond the scope of our learning right now, our level right now. But only for your awareness, I'm telling, because when you're reading something, you might come across words which you know, which you have seen them as Parasmaipadi Kriyapadam, but then now why they are in Atmanepadi form. Say for example, Tishtati. This is the most simplest, easiest, and the most commonly known Kriyapadam. That is why I'm giving you this example. So Tishtati is there. It is a Parasmaipadi Dhatu. With the pra, with the prefix pra added to it, it will become Pratishtate. Okay. So it becomes Atmanepadi. So that is one example. Like that, we will have several words which change their dhatu, like will be changed. The type of dhatu, Parasmaipadi or Atmanepadi or Ubhayapadi. Okay. So we shall stop here and look at this lesson next week. Okay. I just wanted to give you a brief introduction. So all the upasargas are given on this page number 91. And we'll look into this next week. Okay. So I for the Shanti mantra, actually Swati Bhagini so she usually leaves a little early because she has to serve dinner for her elderly husband. So she requested that she will never be able to be there for the Shanti mantra, to take turns. So she sent audio recording, which she requested me to play in today's class. So we'll play her Shanti mantra for today. Okay. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. So we'll meet next week. Agami saptahe vayam melishyamah. Dhanyavadaha. Shubharatrihi.
धन्यवादः
ಧನ್ಯವಾದः ಭಗಿನಿ.
ಶ್ರೀ ವಾಣಿ ಗಾರು.
Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.